Hey everyone, today I'm going to be overviewing and reviewing my ShengShou 4x4 version 5 that is modded. So out of the box, this was a pretty good puzzle. It turned quite nicely. The inner layers were quite fast compared to the outer layers, unlike the Yushin, which I was very disappointed in the inner layers. I haven't quite broken it in yet, so it's not that fair. But anyway, so yeah, it was a pretty fast puzzle, but I could hear spring noises and stuff, and there was slight inner catching, so I wanted to mod it, basically. So what I did is I did a small amount of Florian modding. As you can see, it doesn't look that different, but I did just enough so that the corner cutting is a bit more forgiving, being at about a QB now, and also for the end slices. As you can see, it's still not quite as forgiving as a fully Florian modded one, but I was kind of scared that if I over mod it, it would get really loose, because I've heard that the V5 isn't the greatest to take off a ton of plastic and stuff. I know the V3 is, but I didn't want to take the chance, and personally I prefer it this way. I also did the Consta mod on the inside, just like Cubics shows on this video. It's just the outside that I kind of did it Aosu style, with like rounding off these center pieces and just slightly rounding off the edges and the corners. I replaced the shades, and these are my personal shades, which I really like. Yeah, so after lubing and tensioning and all that, the puzzle is really great. The outer layers are fast. Yeah, what did I just do? Okay, the outer layers are pretty fast, and also the inner layers. I'm not that great at 4x4 yet, but I find that this puzzle is very nice to solve, and I kind of like the crunchy sound it has to it. Even though it is smooth, you can feel kind of bumps in the pieces, and I guess that's due to these little holes there, or triangles, or whatever those are. It's kind of like a bumpy feel, but it is smooth and doesn't really lock up quite too much if you're an accurate turner. Now if you're really rough, then I guess it could get a couple of lockups, but it's not that bad. The inner layers are pretty fast too, and essentially it's a really good puzzle. I haven't tried the Aosu yet because I don't want to spend that much money on a 4x4, especially because I'm not that great at it, and because I like this puzzle so much. Now, do I recommend the mod to this puzzle? Of course. I recently bought another 4x4, ShengShou, of course, for my brother, and of course it was good, but it wasn't as good as this, because the Consta mod really helps the inner layers get nice. And even though they are fast, they still tend to kind of get that little catch on that inner piece, and I really didn't like that. So, essentially this gets rid of all your problems. But, you know, between this and an Aosu, I guess, if money wasn't a problem, I guess I'd get an Aosu. But the mod is really worth it. If you don't want to mod, or you don't have time to mod, just buy an Aosu, and that's a pretty safe bet, I'd say. But this overall is a nice puzzle, and I kind of like the feel of it. I guess some people don't like ShengShou anymore because Moyu took over the market and everything. And of course I haven't tried the Aosu, so you can't really take my opinion on this. So corner cutting is about a QB on the outer layers, and about a QB on the inner layers. Next we have reverse, pretty much doesn't reverse on the outer layers. It reverses a bit, but even then it catches on the centerpiece. On the inner layers, it reverses about a half a QB, which is kind of weird. But, okay, for speed, it turns pretty fast. This requires minimal effort to turn, like I'm not even trying here. This is really good. And yeah, so I can't really recommend this to people because, well, first of all, you'd have to mod it exactly like I did, which is pretty difficult it's pretty difficult to replicate exactly what somebody else did. But if you do the Flooring Constant mod, you should be pretty well off to a good cube. Now, is it worth it? Is the mod worth it? It is. And is it worth it to spend all your time modding rather than just spend $10 more? I don't know, that's your call. Overall, if you have time to mod it, and if you do mod it like I did, I'd recommend this cube to any speed cubers because it's just a really good cube, and if I compare it to my Yushin, I prefer this one more. So, well, obviously because the Yushin, I haven't well broken it in yet, and of course in terms of smoothness, the Yushin is better, but I kind of like the crunchy feel of this. So, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.